That'll do when we get back.
I'm taking you out. You've not been seen for a while on camera, you lot. Mind your feet. Well, it's been a funny old 12 months. It's 12 months since the van last ran. We're on our way home this weekend in the Yorkshire Dales, just before the first lockdown. And over those 12 months, you've been asking us a load of questions about different things, about us, about the van, about life, and we've been collecting them up and decided it's about time we answered some of them. So that's what we're going to do today. First of all, we're going to go to where Keith works and pick up a special guest who's going to come with us.
Hector.
A lad called Hector. You don't have a bad view going to work, do you really?
No, it's a nice view down the valley, especially when the sun's coming up occasionally during the winter. Nice sunrises. It's better than the old rat race around the ring road that I used to have to do. Yeah.
So this is where you work.
This is where I work.
And we're going to pick the youngest member of the team up.
This is where I work. It's a big garage really. We got 7 ramps, 7 mechanics. So busy old time. And this young man is Hector.
Hello, Hector.
Come.
Hello. How are you? So this is your regular Saturday morning walk now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You pick Hector up.
Because Saturday mornings we take the dogs up to the woods, and the garage is on the way really, isn't it? So
Yeah.
we pick Hector up, give him a run, he gets on with ours usually.
Good boy. Hello, Hector. Again.
Sit down then. Sit.
So you get the front seat, don't you, on the way? Eh? Go on, Hector. So the first question that we've been asked is, how long have us two been together for? 17 years. You were going to say too long.
Too long, but no.
17 years we've been together. Knew each other for a while before that. But yeah, we actually got together when I was 40 and you were 47?
40, something like that.
46, 47, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 17 years.
Is it that long?
You were in your 40s, you're in your 60s
I know.
now. And the next question, they're in no order these are just as I've picked them up, so they're very random. Next question is, would we ever consider buying a coach-built camper van or a proper motorhome?
Well, I think we said this before, haven't we? And the answer, is, well, for me, still is no.
Same for me. I wouldn't even consider changing our van. I know we've got issues with our van at the moment, but I wouldn't even consider changing our van.
No.
It's planned out how we wanted it.
Yeah, we took some time planning it out, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right, there's things we might have changed or done slightly differently, but
Nothing major though, is there?
No. It's things are where we want them. We've got the space that we want. We had two criteria, didn't we? Fixed bed.
Yep.
And being able to sit and look out the door, basically.
Yeah, and
everything
be able
else.
to stand up. What the head height?
Yeah.
Got that. We've got a fixed bed.
And everything else was sort of moved around, and in one of the videos we've explained we used to go away with the bed in place, but with cardboard boxes, just to
work out how
where we wanted it,
but
whether we wanted the bulkhead in or out and all sorts.
That's the long answer. Short answer
is no.
He fits in well with the gang, doesn't he?
He does. He's black and white. No,
are you actually allowed to say that these days?
Probably not.
Is that collieist?
Yes. Yeah, he does fit in. He keeps himself into himself a little bit, but they all get on. They had a few disagreements when they first met, but they're all right now.
So the next question is, do we have a favourite dog? I suppose that's individually. Do you want to go first or shall I?
You go first.
No, you can't have a favourite dog. It's like asking if you've got a favourite child. They've all got individual traits that are quite endearing. They've also got individual traits that are quite annoying. But no, they're all very loving, all very faithful, very entertaining, and they make us laugh as much as they make us tear our hair out.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say exactly the same. There's no favourite. We don't have many problems with them at all, do we? Really?
No, the occasional row, but that's just like
life,
families, anyway. So it's just ours are a dog family. So no, we don't.
And having said that, we've lost one. Rum!
Sniffing away.
Here he comes.
But yes, Rum is the old man now who does things in his own time when he wants. And that can be frustrating, can't it, Rum? What's the next question?
How are the van repairs going? Slowly. Yeah, slowly. We've had things checked, the ECU and the body module control modules all checked, and everything's working that there. I don't know what the problem is. I suppose, to be honest, I've been dragging my heels a little bit because we've been in lockdown and we haven't been able to use the van. So throughout the winter, not as much has been done as perhaps I should have done. I've got a few things to check, and friends on YouTube, people that are watching the progress, are helping. They're very, very helpful. Lots of suggestions, telling me what to look for and how to test things. So we do appreciate those comments and that assistance. But yeah, again, slowly at the moment, but hopefully we're getting there.
In the next few days, we've got the auto electrician coming back, haven't we?
Yeah.
And
tracing some faults.
He's going to do a load of tracing on the wiring to see whether there are any issues with the wiring, with chafing or broken wires. But that'll be for another video. But as Keith said, slowly, frustratingly, because as we said earlier, it's been 12 months now, but we will get there.
Yeah.
What's the next question then?
So how old are the dogs? Well, as we said just a minute ago, Rum's the old boy. He's coming 13, 14.
Yeah, yeah.
Tor, his son. He's what?
9 coming up 10.
And then we've got the youngsters who are just coming up 18 months.
It's only a month between them two, so they're still the babies, still the naughty twins as we call them. Still learning.
And the next question. 4 dogs in a camper van, isn't it cramped?
No. Well, I suppose you could say yes, but not noticeably, no, is it, really?
Again, we had the dogs, well, we were planning the build.
2 dogs, mind you.
And we decided to take the bulkhead out for various reasons, and one of them being that it just gives us that little bit extra space, and the dogs do nettles on the ankles. The dogs do take themselves off into the front. They have a bit of peace and quiet, so we can actually spread out in the van.
To be honest, they've got their own space, haven't they? I mean, yes, the pups haven't been away, not pups anymore, they've not been away that much in the van, have they? But
no.
Even when we did take them away before all this last 12 months, they
come on,
they found their own spaces and where they like to lie, where they like to sleep. So no, it's not too bad at all, really. Not too cramped. It works. And I know people have said before it must be smelly when they're wet, but
yes,
so
are we.
Yeah.
And what do we prefer, being away in the van or at the caravan?
Oh, that's a difficult one, and it's both. There's no
one or the other.
One or the other, really. They're both nice. It's nice having a base with a caravan,
and just being able to get away for a weekend without doing too much driving.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's nice to explore new places in the camper. So yeah,
they've both got the benefits.
Yeah.
And we enjoy them both.
Yeah, and we have thought about or talked about, do we need them both? But we've always come back to the decision that it's nice having them both.
Yeah.
And so
it's nice having the choice. We're very lucky to have the choice.
We are. Hector's half hour. This way. The next one is, you're very lucky to own a caravan
how did you get it, and why did you choose the Peak District? Well, we had a bit of money from my mum, didn't we?
We did. Your mum died.
Passed away. And we did think about, like everybody, oh, let's have a place in France, it'd be ever so nice. Then we thought about the dogs, well, dog passports and getting all that organised every time.
That was just 2 dogs.
Yeah, so then we decided, oh well, perhaps not France.
Which, thinking about it, over the last 12 months,
would have been
a nightmare,
yeah.
plus Brexit and everything as well. So that was a correct decision, wasn't it?
But then we looked at the Lake District or Wales, Snowdonia, which is places that we like. But then again, we thought, will we ever get there? I mean, the original idea was to have a caravan or a gîte and let it out and make some, make it pay for itself. But then there was, it's far away. There's the cleaning and the maintenance and everything. And to be fair, we made an appointment to go and see this the site in the Peak District, just outside Yulegrave and Bakewell, that area.
And then we ummed and ahed, didn't we, the week before the appointment?
And we said, oh, let's not bother.
Is it really what we want to do? Do we really want a caravan? We've got the campervan.
And so, but we'd made the appointment, so we honoured that. We met the owner of the site, Ian, and he was a very nice, welcoming. It was a lovely site. The caravan was welcoming, warmly, homely.
You know when you walk into, when you're looking for a house to buy or to rent, and you walk into a place and you think this is right. Well, that's what the caravan felt right. Well, felt like. So we signed up there and then, didn't we?
Yeah. So.
And to be honest, it's everything we could want in a site, because it's quiet. There's only 50 vans.
Yeah.
There's no bar, no pool, none of that leisure type of stuff.
I mean, everybody looks out for everybody. It's a friendly site, don't get us wrong, but there's not the rowdiness, I suppose, of and things.
And walks from at the time for me it wasn't a thing, was it? Because I wasn't walking, but there are walks from the door. You don't have to get into a car and drive to go for a walk.
And it's only 40 minutes away, so we don't have to decide. We don't have to make plan to go.
I mean, there are occasions when we've stayed over and then you've driven to work each morning and come back. So it's very flexible in that way. And the Peak District, we like the Peak District anyway. I'm from the Peak District originally, so I knew the area, but not as well as we're knowing it now. I mean, we're finding new places every time, hence all the walks that we do when we can from up there that we show you. There are places I've never been before, so it works for us.
And we've lost another dog.
Hector!
Hector! Come on! There he is. He's good. Seeing he's not ours, and we only take him out, or I only take him out at weekends on a Saturday morning. He does come back very well.
Hector!
Good boy.
Come on.
But he does like chasing squirrels, so you've got to keep an eye on him.
What's next? Hello. I can't answer that because I don't understand.
What do you both do for work? And where are you both from?
I don't work. I'm officially retired.
You used to work. You used to run the honey shop.
Yeah, when we had the honey shop before the garden centre closed down, I ran the honey shop, so that was my job. Prior to that, it was social work. But now I'm a stay-at-home dad to 4 dogs and housekeeper for him.
When do you do that?
Well, I don't dust the lampshades.
I started off in the food industry, then went into teaching. Then we worked for ourselves. Yeah, we had a remapping business. I got out of teaching. What else have we done? Worked in a pharmaceutical lab or food testing lab.
Ran craft fairs.
We
sold our photographs at craft fairs. We've done all sorts.
And now I've worked for a motor parts company delivering bits to garages, and that's hence I met the boss now. He offered me a job at the garage, and so that's where I am. And where are we both from?
Well, as I said in the previous question, I'm from the Peak District originally. I was born up there in a little place called Birchvale, just outside New Mills, which you might have heard of or might not have heard of. It's where the Swizzles sweets are made, the Love Hearts and everything. I was born there, moved down to Slough when I was 4. None of the family liked it, but we moved for Dad's work. Moved back to New Mills when I was 16. So that's where home is, home was. And now Nottingham for the moment.
I'm from... I thought I was going to get a comment then. I'm from Warrington, halfway between Manchester and Liverpool.
Got a bit of a Scouse accent.
Was waiting for that. I moved down to Nottingham when I started at the food company after university. So I came to Nottingham in 1980. So I've been away from home, well, from Warrington, more than I actually live there, as most people do. That's about it, really. I haven't moved around an awful lot. Thought about it, looked at jobs here, there and everywhere, especially when teaching, but it was very hard to move the family at that time. But we're based here now, aren't we?
For now.
For now. Till we find a nice little farm that we can afford, and we can have our goats and our other bits and pieces. But yes, so that's it for now.
So how many kids do we have between us?
5 between us. You've got Tom and Beth.
I got 2, Tom and Beth.
Tom's 27?
27, yes. Beth's 25. Beth's got a little lad, Logan. They live fairly close to Nottingham. And you've got 3.
Yeah, I've got Jacob, who you've seen occasionally on our videos. He works at a school for kids and teenagers with behaviour problems. He's developing outdoor education programs for them. He's 26. And then I've got Cameron and Ruby, who are twins, who are 25. There's only actually 18 months between Jacob and the twins. Cameron works in London. Ruby is married. She's got a little lad, Oscar. Sadly, we don't see Cameron and Ruby. We don't see Beth
either. No.
Various reasons.
But there's
always hope.
There's always hope. The doors are always open.
So yeah, we're both granddads, but we've never seen our grandsons. Does that make it cheaper? I don't know. But yeah, 5 between us, and it's again frightening to think how old they are now.
Yes.
25, 26 and 27. There's actually only a couple of months between you and Beth and the twins, isn't
yes, there is. And not much between Jacob and Tom.
No, to be fair, it's not.
How long have we been keeping bees, or how long have I been keeping bees?
I don't keep bees. I want to put it out there, I do not keep bees. Bees do not like me.
But they do. It's a good few years now, isn't it?
Must be getting on 7 or 8 years.
Yes. With varying success, increasing of hives and then losing hives or colonies and so on, but that's sort of about on par for the average beekeeper, unless you're really into it and have the time.
It's amazing how that develops into more though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just keeping bees. We eventually, we said a little while back, we had a shop selling honey, not just our honey, but honey from other beekeepers in the area. But yeah, 7 or 8 years, I'd say.
Yeah, you know, it all started because I went on a course, and because I was interested in keeping bees. Couldn't afford to do it, but then one just arrived, a swarm arrived in the garden, didn't it? So
it did, and then so you rang one of the local beekeepers, and he was good enough to
lend us
the equipment for the start, wasn't he?
Yeah. So one interesting fact about you.
About me?
About you.
I'm just me.
You've lost 10 stone.
I've lost 10.5 stone.
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me. There's a very little half.
Difference.
It makes a very big difference in inches to my waist. I'm not having any rude comments on our videos. One interesting fact. When I was 18, I had the opportunity to go and visit family in Zimbabwe, which had just gained independence. So I only had a fortnight off work, but I went and I loved it. So I sent a postcard to work saying, loving it here, I'm not coming back. And I actually spent 6 months out there and travelled quite a bit around the country with family. Lucky enough to go to Victoria Falls, some of the big national parks, went over the border, over the bridge at Vic Falls into Zambia. So yeah, that's probably quite an interesting fact. Travel linked as well, so yeah, that's my interesting fact, I suppose.
My interesting facts. Well, I used to travel with a friend when we were just got jobs. We had disposable income because we didn't have any families or anything, and we used to travel abroad quite a bit. I suppose one of the interesting facts is that I've been to Everest Base Camp. We went trekking in the Himalayas and got to Everest Base Camp. So that's mine.
An achievement as well.
Yeah, I was quite chuffed with that. An interesting fact about us both. What have you got in mind? I've got one in mind.
Yeah. This is one that continues to amaze people when we tell. In fact, when we were at your aunt's funeral the other day, we told you one of your relatives, and she was gobsmacked, wasn't she? We're members of the Women's Institute.
Yeah.
And it was a blinking expensive. We're life members. We're life members. So not just members, we're life members. And it was blinking expensive. It was 5p each to join.
For life.
Yeah. But yes, we're members of the WI.
Yes.
But there is a reason for that.
Yeah. We've said before in videos that we used to bake for country markets, and country markets is an offshoot of the WI, and so you have to join the WI to be able to sell, or you did in the day. You had to be a member of the WI to sell at the country markets. But that was quite a profitable little sideline, wasn't it?
It used to pay the rent.
It used to pay the rent each month. So, you know, it started. We were selling our pictures at the country markets, and the manageress, I suppose, she said, "What, you know, like this, asking about us and what do we do, what we've done." I said, "Oh, I used to work for Port Farms." "Oh, you can bake then?" Well, that was it. We were baking pies, soups, or making soups,
quiches, cheesecakes. We made all
cottage
sorts.
pies, all sorts, everything.
Fish pies.
Basically, everybody was making cakes and breads and sweet stuff. They had no savoury people, so we just did whatever we wanted to do.
But to be honest, it got to the point where it was actually becoming a full-time job.
It was a full-time job.
We were selling at the market on a Friday.
Well, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And sometimes on a Tuesday.
Yeah, depending on the market.
Which markets?
We started with one market, but then it was like, we haven't got anyone doing savouries at this market. Do you mind?
or will you? So yes, it was good. It was good fun, but like Daryl said, you was getting up on a Monday morning, having to do shopping and planning
for the day or the week ahead.
Here
And
here.
It was orders as well. We weren't just baking, we were getting orders. There was one lady who worked for an airline, and she's an air stewardess, and she wouldn't eat the airline food. So she'd order our pies, our cottage pies and fish pies and stuff, and take them on board for her lunch or her meal in flight. So ridiculous. But yeah, we're members of the WI.
And another interesting fact, I'm very forgetful. I've got to go back to along the road because I've left Hector's lead. So, see you in a bit.
Soddle.
Do you want the key so you can get in?
No, I'll wait here and take in the air.
I'll take the dogs.
Okay.
Come on, this way.
The old man says, well, I'm not going doing that again. I want to get in the car now. As we said before, he knows his own mind. Don't you, Rum? You wait there for the others then. Good boy. And we've said before that we make these videos as much as anything so that we can look back on them. I think now you might know why. Because we get ever so forgetful. So it just reminds us of things that we've done. In the back. In the back. In the back. In the back. Good boy. Come on, Hector.
Come. In the back, Hector. Come. Good boy. Mind your feet.
I just said the reason we make these videos is so we can't forget things.
In the future.
Time to drop Hector back off.
No, mind your feet. Go on then. Good boy, go on.
Good boy. See you again.
We good?
So that's where Hector stays on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few more questions left, but there's a coffee pot at home calling.
There is.
And the hens are calling us. You be mother, or is it uncle?
Uncle.
When it's coffee. Is it different when it's coffee? We get a biscuit as well.
We get a biscuit as well.
Biscuit.
After the last year of pandemic, what have you learned about yourselves and what are you going to do differently?
Well, to be honest, apart from being furloughed from my previous job for a few weeks, 7 weeks was it? Right on the first lockdown, I've worked all the way through. So it's not really impacted us that.
We've been very lucky. We've come through it all so far. Okay, we don't know anyone.
No,
who's had the
seriously
virus, or seriously had the virus.
Yeah.
We've not been affected by family, friends, or anything like that having the virus.
No.
It's, to be honest, it's not affected us in the least. I mean, we don't see a lot of people anyway, so going out socially hasn't affected it. Obviously, we've not been away like we would have been, but we had the issue with the van anyway, so that was going to be a problem.
And we've not been up to the caravan as much.
Not as often. But as soon as we got up there, as soon as we were allowed to go up there, we did. But
we haven't since we weren't. They changed it again.
Mentally, it's not affected us, has it?
No, I mean,
we've been very lucky.
Work's been busy. I mean, people say, "Are you busy? How are you doing at work?" And they come in, and you know, I know a lot of companies have struggled or are struggling. The garage has been very busy, so we're not seeing the effect that side of things. No. But yeah, like Darryl says, we're very fortunate that this year we haven't been out. We haven't done the walks that we promised right at the beginning of the new year.
No, we've not done
any of the miles as yet. The second half of the year is going to be busy. Very busy. But
so what would we do differently?
What would you do differently?
If it happens again, I don't think there's anything we will do differently. To be honest, we've coped. Well, we've more than coped.
Yeah, we've more than coped. We just get on with it. You're right. We've got wet face coverings because when we go shopping, we don't go shopping that often now.
I suppose we didn't. We didn't buy into the panic.
No,
did we?
No.
It could have been very. It would have been very easy for me to buy into the panic because I do get a bit stressed about things like that. But for some reason I didn't. I just thought, well, whatever happens, happens. You just got to get on with it, and that's what we did, isn't it?
Mm. So. Do you own bikes?
Yeah.
Yes. We're laughing, or I'm laughing. A few months ago, the government issued vouchers. You could get £50 towards having your bike serviced or repaired or whatever. So we managed to get hold of a couple of these vouchers. We went down, took our bikes down to one of the local bike shops. They had a look at them and, well, basically they condemned the bikes.
Condemned yours?
You condemned mine. Said yours wasn't economical to repair as well. So.
We've actually got 4 mountain bikes here. I've not ridden my bike. I've got a brand new bike that Keith bought me on Christmas. I've never ridden it, and it's a decent bike. It's a Land Rover mountain bike. I was too fat, so I wasn't riding, and then we've not got around to it. We have got a bike rack for the Land Rover, and the intention is that we will ride them. We will get them sorted out, and we will ride them this year, won't we?
Yeah, I mean,
the 2 older dogs used to go on bike rides with us. They used to run alongside us if we were on trails or whatever. Puppies have never seen bikes, bikes, so they're going to have to learn. Though I've got a bit of an issue at the moment with a frozen shoulder, or so the scan says. I don't know, I've got to see a physio yet. So I'm a bit worried about getting on a bike because of the vibration going over bumps on my shoulder, but we'll have to see. But our intention is to use the bikes again. So, yeah. But short answer, we have bikes. 4 of them. 1 for each leg.
What plans for 2020 and also the
2020?
2021? And it also links into another one. What are your short and long-term plans? Plans for 2021 would really get the van sorted.
Get the van sorted.
And definitely. So when we can go out, we can get away in it.
Short term, I want to get my shoulder sorted. It's causing issues.
It's dragging on now, isn't it?
It's been a few months now. Christmas.
It's only because you won't go and see doctors when you're told to.
Impossible to see a doctor.
It's
I've seen a doctor. I've been for a scan. I've got physio booked in for the end of April.
Yeah, you could have done it a month earlier.
Do you see a doctor when you're told to?
Usually.
If I make you an appointment, say you're going. Short term, yeah, get the van sorted, get out in the van.
Long term?
Well, short term again, I suppose it's what, mid-March now. We're hoping that restrictions eased allegedly on the 12th of April. So the following week, you booked a week off work, and we're going to go up to the caravan, unless things change and the van's running. But we need to get up to the caravan anyway, just to check on it and
sort it out for the summer.
Long term, it all depends on what's happening, doesn't it? We've really desperate to get up to the Lake District. I don't think we'd probably go till September, October time, because to be honest, the lakes is going to be heaving.
I think anywhere is going to be this year.
I mean, we talked about maybe going to one of the quieter counties. I don't know what counties you class as quieter. We talked about Northumberland, didn't we? Maybe in the van, because we thought that might be quieter. But the lakes is one we're desperate to get back to. Long term, otherwise, we want to win the lottery. We want to buy. It'd be nice to buy
a plot of land.
It'd be nice to buy a house. We're never going to be able to afford to buy a house. We're the wrong age. We're not in a financial position to buy a house unless we win the lottery. We both had houses, obviously, when we were married back in the day. But we're never going to be in that position to buy a house now, aren't we? So we rent, which is obviously wasted money. But yeah, it would be nice to buy somewhere. I often go on about moving, leaving Nottingham, but I don't know.
Well, we're in a position where the rent on this property, and it's a big house to be fair, and it's a big garden, is not excessive, is it?
No.
So when we have looked in the past to moving to wherever, the rent is an issue. And because we're renting it, the dogs tend to be an issue. So there's a multitude of things to consider if we ever move. At the moment, it suits us to be here, but that's not necessarily long term.
We've talked about the lakes to move to. We've talked about Anglesey to move to, haven't we, in the past? Where it would be, I don't know if we ever got the opportunity to. I'd like Keith to reduce his hours at work. He's 65 this year, but he goes to work to get away from me, I think, more than anything. But yeah, that's it, really. Just plod on. Long term, short term.
I don't think we're plodding, though, are we? We enjoy life.
We enjoy life.
It's not plodding through life.
I mean, people watch us and comment about what a good life we've got, and we have, really. I mean, we've both been down, virtually out in the past. We're very, very lucky. We're very lucky that we've got through the pandemic as we have. We're very lucky that we've got the camper van. We're very lucky that we've got the caravan. We've got escapes. We're not just sat in four walls, are we? We've got plenty around here, plenty of places to go for a walk around here that we discovered
in the
first lockdown.
When the weather was better.
Yeah. So we're very fortunate, and we acknowledge that a lot of people aren't as fortunate as us. But yeah, so we don't plod along. We get on with life, and we're lucky that we enjoy life, and we can enjoy life. I think that's probably
what cameras do you use?
We use.
that question was, excuse me, what cameras do we use? And as we said that, the battery on that one, that one went down. So we just had to change cameras. But the cameras we use are the Osmo.
The Osmo Actions are our main cameras, aren't we?
Yeah.
One each.
We have an Osmo Pocket as well.
Yeah, which we don't really use now.
We ought to. We ought to take that out every time we go out because it's so small and the quality's so good. We ought to use it more when we don't have these cameras.
We've got some old Kodak waterproof video cameras that are
Kodak
really old.
Sports,
yeah, Kodak
like
Sports, something like that.
that.
Which we use for putting on the outside of the van if we're driving, because as much as these are good, we don't want to knacker them because they're not cheap. Whereas these Kodak Sports were second hand off eBay about 30 quid each. So we've got 3 of them, I think. So not used often, but when we're in Scotland, we stuck them on the outside of the van. They worked. So these are the main cameras, the Osmo Actions. We've got the Pocket.
Yeah. Obviously we got the still cameras. We got Sony Alphas, for still photography.
We've got the drone. We've got the DJI
Pocket
Mavic Mini. We've got the DJI Sport. No,
don't know what it's called.
Spark. DJI Spark, but that's not been used since we got the Mini because the Mini's so good, it's so portable.
Well, we're not qualified. Well, we haven't got a license to fly the bigger one.
No.
And so that's why we basically replaced it with the Mini.
Well, the Mini's actually better quality. I mean, it's
we don't fly either of them enough
to
be experts. That's another problem. We just do what we need to do, don't we?
We'll actually do a separate video on all the camera equipment because we've got a fair bit of it, haven't we? I mean, it goes all over the place with cost-wise. We've always had to save up for what we've had. But yeah, the main cameras these days, and because they've got stabilisation on them, which makes a difference, are these go everywhere, and the majority of our videos that we put up on YouTube are from these. So yeah.
And finally, what sport do you watch or play? Do you know what the word sport means?
I don't watch any sport.
You don't say any interest in any sport.
I used to, when I was a kid, I used to go to the Speedway. Used to go and watch Bellevue up in Manchester. Bellevue Aces. Used to watch that. But I kind of got dragged along to that more than anything. It was okay. Didn't really float my boat. I went if I was asked if I wanted to go, but it wasn't really anything that I majorly wanted to do. I have never, ever played a game of football in my life, which I'm very proud of. It just doesn't interest me. When it was sports at school,
you were always the one at the end, picked last, were you?
No.
There was somebody worse.
I was always the one who volunteered to do maths. Although it was part of the curriculum and you should have done it, we did have some good teachers and they used to say, well, you can always do some maths instead. So now I'd always go, okay then. You're more sporty, aren't you?
Yeah, I've never really got into sport at school. I wish I had. I got into sport, I got into rugby league via my friend Stephen. We used to go down to watch Warrington of a weekend, and then his dad used to take us all over the north, northwest, northeast to all the rugby matches. We used to follow Warrington, and I wish I'd got into it earlier because I enjoyed it. When I came to Nottingham, I helped set up a team, amateur rugby league team in Nottingham, and really enjoyed that, the involvement and the fitness and everything. So I enjoy playing rugby league. I enjoy watching rugby league, I like watching most sports. To be fair, I don't because you don't enjoy it, so I don't go out of my way to watch sport.
We did go to the MotoGP.
We did in San Marino.
In San Marino, because we won a competition, and that, must admit, that was quite enjoyable. Yeah. But there again, we were spoiled.
VIP all in.
Yeah.
Weekend, wasn't it?
It was actually enjoyable watching the racing as well. Again, I wouldn't pay money to go and do it, but it was all right.
No, Matt, I enjoy sport. As I say, enjoy playing rugby. Rugby league. But perhaps I might get. There is a local rugby league team still, and that's just starting up and been going a couple of years now. And I keep promising myself to get in touch when the pandemic eases even more, just to go training with them. That'd be fun, just to get me fit.
So that's it.
That's all the questions.
These are questions that have come through, say, in the last 12 months. We've answered some of them as they've come through, but not on a video. So we just thought we'd put a video together. We're struggling a bit with videos at the moment, obviously, because we've not been out much. So hopefully we'll be back on track soon. But
I hope this one isn't too long.
Hope you enjoyed it. The usual thumbs up, thumbs down, like, subscribe, share, and comment, and fire away with any more questions. We don't mind answering them. And with that, we'll just say cheers. Thanks for watching.
Cheerio. Really? Yeah.